Hello, my friends. I'm Mirai, and today we're going over all the books that I read in January. It was a really big reading month for me, like the biggest I've ever had. I read 12 books. Yeah, 12 books I read in January. That just blows my mind. Like when I was looking at all the books I've read in the past month, I I was honestly shocked. It feels like it's been months since I've read some of these books, honestly. Anyways, first up we have A Court of Frost and Starlight. I really started the year off with some short books, but I was right in the middle of the ACOTAR series and I just wanted to finish it. I just had to. I didn't like this one as much as the rest of the series. I think that's a pretty popular opinion. I mean, it's just like a novella. It really does feel like a Christmas special. Like if I read this on fan fiction, a story someone wrote about the characters in ACOTAR, that would make sense to me. Like the vibe was like fan fiction vibes, Christmas special. Nothing really happened. They are just celebrating the holidays, chilling, you know? It was fine, but nothing special. I'm happy I read it because I wanted to consume everything about this world. It does give you some more insight into the characters we follow in the next book, so there's that as well. So, I mean, they're little tidbits, and I think they kind of just come up again in the next book anyway, so I don't know if it really matters that much, but I mean, I'd read it if you're reading ACOTAR. It's not bad, but it's just nothing special. Overall, I gave it 3.5 stars. Yeah, I rounded up to a 4 on Goodreads just because I love ACOTAR and I didn't want to give one of the books 3 stars, so I rounded up. Yeah, that's about it. And then kind of next I read A Court of Silver Flames. I love this book. I think a lot of people really adore this book and I am one of them. There is a lot of spice in this book compared to the other ones. I was kind of there for it, you know? We follow Nessa and Cassian in this book, and I didn't know who we followed until I got here because I didn't want to read the summary, but I was really hoping for this. I was so excited for this book while I was reading ACOTAR because just the few little interactions we get of the two of them, in the earlier books in the series, I've been rooting for them since A Court of Mist and Fury when they met. Just, that spark, the vibe, it was there. And it was it's a pretty slow burn. It's a pretty slow burn. I feel like we don't even get to them having any sort of romance until halfway through the book, which I feel like happens in a lot of books, a lot of romance books. But this is a thick book. We were 300, 400 pages in when they kiss for the first time or something. I don't know if that's accurate. They might have kissed earlier, but it felt like a slow burn. Yeah, kind of forced proximity. So at the start of the book, Nessa is kind of a little annoying. She hates everyone. She's broken all of her relationships, bridges burned, etc., etc. It's very upsetting. And then you just kind of follow her journey, how she ends up building back those bridges and forming friendships. There is a lot of found family in here, which I really enjoyed. I thought it was the cutest found family. It made me so happy. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend ACOTAR in general, but this was really good. 5 stars. Easy 5 stars. Then I listened to Love at First Sight on Audible. This is a Audible only, an Audible only book. You can't get a physical copy of this, and I don't think I'd want to read a physical copy of this. It's just fully dialogue, and it's a dramatized, story. Their intonations and the way they're interacting is kind of part of the book. It's basically just listening to a movie if the movie was just purely dialogue, and I thought it was really cute. I really like Cara Brastone. I thought it was really cute. I've been really liking Cara Brastone's books, especially on Audible. I did see that one of her new books is on Book of the Month, which I considered getting, but I didn't. There's other books I wanted to read, so I didn't pick it up right now, but I'm interested to see how I like her books in the physical format rather than just her audio only ones. Overall, I gave Love at First Sight 4 stars, which might be like a little bit of a generous rating just because, I mean, what really happened in it? I don't know. I think it deserves it. It was really cute. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's like a different type. It's like a different media form than like just like a physical book. So in different genres, I feel like it was a 4 stars for what it was. If you're looking for something super complex and deep, then like obviously this isn't it. This is just a really easy, fluffy like book to listen to. Next, I read Tom Lake. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was so good. It was such an easy read, so relaxing to listen to, and Meryl Streep narrates the audiobook, which that was kind of fun. Honestly, like all of the literary fiction books I've been reading have been like up here. Like I've been really enjoying them. I think I need to read more literary fiction. I think I'm a literary fiction girly, if I must say. I'm a thriller girly and I'm a literary fiction girly. But I also really like, I like everything. I think a lot of these books were like also just really popular, and I think I'm easy to please too. Like if it's popular, chances are I'll like it. I mean, I didn't like love all of these books that were really popular, but anyway. I'm getting sidetracked. Next, I read The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny because I wanted another quick, easy audiobook to listen to. This one was like kind of a flop. Like it wasn't bad, like I still enjoyed it. I feel like I didn't really know the characters at all, and I think the storyline was kind of too fast. You know, like this girl is the nanny. It's basically about a nanny who ends up falling for the kid that she's nannying dead. She falls for her employer. The nanny falls for her employer, that's what it is. I mean, like, you know, typical falling for the employer, we can't do this situation. Though, I mean, like much more casual because she's only gonna be the nanny for like a week. I mean, I guess that's also probably why it's like fast paced, because it's really just a week. But that also makes it like, you guys really fell hard fast. I mean, they were also like, they knew each other from high school. So I guess that's part of it too. And I think they both had crushes on each other in high school. But anyways, it was cute, but it just wasn't my favorite. I gave The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny 3 stars overall. Next, I read The Risk in the Mind F series. Am I like a psychopath for liking this as much as I do? Because I really liked it. Like, it's very Criminal Minds-esque, and I love Criminal Minds. Like, it's like the kind of book that I feel like, you know, Criminal Minds and probably, yeah, Criminal Minds and like books about serial killers like this. Like, I feel like I can't read too much of them or consume too much of them at a time, or else I'm gonna go like crazy. Like, reading about killers too much is like going to affect my brain. You know, like I don't want to be in that headspace like all the time. So of course, like I smushed 2 romance books in between, or like I smushed 2 romance books around it. But I really enjoyed this. It's dual point of view, and it follows like the FBI guy who is a profiler, like in Criminal Minds, and like the way they talk and like analyze the crime scene is like taken like literally directly out of Criminal Minds. Like it's, and like all of those profiler TV shows. And I just loved it. And then our other character ends up being a serial killer that the FBI guy is trying to catch. And it's just wild. It was like a really short book, and there's like 5 books in it, which I could have just read them all at the same time, but I'm spacing them out a bit. The fact that I enjoyed this so much makes me really want to read Butcher and Blackbird, which is about like 2 serial killers who fall in love. And I've heard that's also like pretty gory. And the Mind F series is kind of gory. It's not like super detailed, like, but it like says the gory stuff that happens, describing it too much. But I don't know what Butcher and Blackbird does, but I've heard it's pretty gory. So that is on my TBR. Overall, I gave The Risk 4.5 stars. Next, I read Ruthless Vows. and I absolutely loved Divine Rivals. I gave Divine Rivals 5 stars, but I didn't like this one quite as much as Divine Rivals. I don't know what it was. Like, I really like the storyline, but I just didn't have that same 5-star feeling. But what I really liked was, I mean, I really love the characters, so I still like really love this book. Yeah, I really like the storyline. I really love the characters. Honestly, like, maybe it should be more than just 4. Maybe it should be like 4.25. I felt like there were a lot of parallels between Ruthless Vows and Divine Rivals. I don't know what else to say other than, yeah, there are a lot of parallels. I liked it, not as much. 4 stars overall. I do recommend it. Like, if you like Divine Rivals, I'd recommend reading this. I still think it's really good. Obviously, 'cause I gave it 4 stars. And some people actually like this one better, so you might even like this better than Divine Rivals. It was good. And it's so pretty. I read so many Kindle books this month, so it's kind of sad that it's just like a small little stack of physical books, but that's just how it is sometimes. That's just how it is. Next, I read another book by Cara Basto, or I listened to another book by Cara Basto. I listened to Call Me Maybe. I didn't like this one quite as much. It was still really cute and really fun, and another like all dialogue book, I think. I mean, there's kind of like a plot point that I guess during the book, like, it was kind of super obvious. Like, I don't know why they didn't figure this out sooner. I mean, that wasn't the part that I didn't like as much. It was like, I felt like they just kept repeating the same thing. Like, you're reading it, you figure out, like, you know, the stuff. And then, like, that last 30 minutes of the book or whatever is, like, them explaining to each other, like, what we've already found out. They're just, like, reiterating what happened. They're like, oh, like, you know, that was you, and there was this, and that happened. And I was like, yeah, we already know that. I don't know. And again, I just, like, wasn't super connected with the characters. Like, it was cute, but that was it. It was fun to listen to. I'd recommend it. It's just, like, not the top. Not a top book. Next, I read Behind the Net. I don't know how I feel about this book. I really liked the first 70%. Like, I really liked it. I was having so much fun. There were, like, things I was kind of ignoring that kind of were weird. Like, they, like, could not keep their thoughts off, like, Spice. You know? It was just, like, constant, like, oh my goodness, I want to do this to him, and, you know, it was a little weird. That part, like, it was a while before anything actually happened between the two of them, and, like, before they even, like, realized that the other was, like, interested, at least, like, physically. But, like, there was so much of them just, like, wanting to pounce on each other. Like, it was cute, it was enjoyable, I had a good time. But then something happened, like, the last 70 pages of the book, and it just kind of went downhill. Like, I was having a really great time, and then all of a sudden there's just, like, 5 chapters straight of, like, Spice, and not just, like, one Spice scene. It was, like, 5 separate Spice scenes, which was like, okay, is that all they're gonna do now? Like, what happened to the rest of the plot? You know? I don't know if it was, like, just how I was feeling when I read it, because it was, like, the next day. Maybe I should have just read it all in one day to, like, not have that meh feeling. But, like, after that, the rest of it was just meh. Like, it was cute. Like, the ending was cute, you know? It wasn't the same as, like, the first 70% of the book. Like, I want to give it 4 stars, but, like, in my heart, it's not a 4 stars. Just because I can't stop thinking about how much I, like, didn't love the ending. I'm giving it a 3.5 because I still really liked it, but it just dropped off at the end. Honestly, like, every book I read, I'm like, maybe I should reread it to see if, like, that's really how I felt, or if it was just, like, when I read it. But I can't reread every book. It's not how it works. I don't have that kind of time. Anyways, next I read another literary fiction book. I read Beartown, which is actually translated from Swedish, so that was pretty fun. And it's also a TV show, so I don't know if I'll watch the TV show, but I like that fact. I really enjoyed it. 5 stars overall. Like, I couldn't help myself. It's just so well written, like a literary work of art. Also super depressing. Like, literary fiction books are just depressing as hell. In Beartown, you follow like 50 different characters, and I feel like I just became intimately involved with each of them. Like, I understood their struggles, their life story, you know, what really makes them tick. And like, they each have like so much growth, like positive or negative. Like, there's one character at the beginning that was like such a great guy, you know? And then at the end, he's like kind of trash. Like, he really disappointed me. Like, I'm really upset by how his character turned out. And then another character, we started off with him being like kind of trash. And then like, you learn about who he really is, like you follow his point of view, and you're like, this man is a sweetheart. And then he becomes even more of a sweetheart, like he's better than the rest of them. Anyways, it was really good. I don't think it's for everyone. If you like literary fiction, I'd pick it up. I really liked it. It was fun. It was good. It was depressing. It was shocking. I have so many notes of that book because it follows like 50 characters, and I just want to make sure I kept straight like who everyone was. Like, I don't think I needed to write them down to remember who they were because they're like my friends now, you know? I just like know them all so well. But I wrote them all down so I can like look back on them more easily. Literary fiction, you know, after that you kind of need something to take the edge off, you know, something light. So next I read Flawless, a very hyped book, loved by many. I liked it. Like, there was nothing in it that I like actively didn't like. I just wasn't super attached to the characters for the first like 50% of the book. Like, they're fine. I just like I feel like I didn't know anything about them for the first 50%. I didn't know really what the point of anything was for a while. And then like we get into the romance, and I was like, oh yes, this is a romance book. This is what it's supposed to be about. Romance. And then it started making more sense, and I felt like we learned a little more about them, but still not much. And the romance was cute. I think the ending was better than Behind the Net. I'm comparing them because I sandwiched them around Beartown, so I'm comparing the 2 romance books I read on either side of that one. And they're both kind of like 3.5 stars for me. I think I'm sticking with 3.5. Like, Flawless, I didn't like the beginning, but I liked the ending. Like, it was really cute. And then Behind the Net, I really liked the beginning, and the ending was such a disappointment. It just brought the whole book down. But that's how I felt. I can totally see other people like really enjoying Flawless though. Like, it's cute, it's really easy. 3.5 stars. And finally, to end the month, I read Accidentally Amy, another romance by Lynn Painter. It was really cute. Like, I can totally understand why people might not like this book. I gave it 4 stars just because I was kicking and giggling and screaming the whole time. I thought it was so funny. But like, it was also written in a way that like can get irritating. Like, the main characters, like the way it's narrated is like you're in their mind, but it's like third person, and like the narration just kind of like says things like they would say it, and it's like in like a childish way, and I can see how that would be annoying. But I just like I made the executive decision to fully embrace the weirdness and like the like odd writing choice in that aspect. And like the main character was kind of chaotic, and like she just changed topics rapidly. I just embraced it. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. 4 stars overall. That sums up my reading month. That's all the books I read. Overall, really great month. 2 5-star reads, 2 4.5s, handful of 4s. Great month. Great month. I have no complaints. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.